It's been over 8 months since we featured anybody on the Play Like a Pro series. We took a little break from it, especially with all the controversy and all the issues that we've had kind of in some of the past features, past episodes that we have done. Last person we featured, believe it or not, it seems like so long ago, but the last person we featured was actually Lord Black. In case you guys missed that video, I will leave a link down in the description. And no, Lord Black has never been banned. All right, we saw the memes, we saw the trolling in the comments, like, oh, Lord Black, he's done. You know, obviously that didn't happen. That was not the case. This is going to be a feature from with 𝑒𝓂𝓃𝓎𝓃, who's actually the number 2 ranked player in FPP. Very, very excited to get him on. So before we hop into all the questions, all the content, this one actually plays, I'm sure you might have heard of someone named Rolex, who we've also had in the Play Like a Pro series. This is 𝓂𝓃𝓎𝓃 is someone who often plays with Rolex on live stream in him ranking to conquer. Asked him a bunch of questions: favorite weapon, favorite map, 5 tips for you to get better at the game. We're going to jump into all of it, but let's take a quick break so we can hear from today's channel sponsor. Let's face it, you stink. Lucky for you, I'm bringing you guys an exclusive offer. I want you to click the link down in the description and head on over to Dossier. Dossier reproduces classic, high-end luxury scents at a fraction of the price that you would pay. And it's all the brands you guys know and love. Tom Ford's, Gucci, we're talking Chanel, Dior-inspired fragrances. And the best part is they ship them right to your door. What's great is they have something for everybody, men, women, and they make it very, very easy. There's a tab you can click on bestsellers and see what is the hottest perfumes and colognes on the market right now. Now, this is the coolest part right here. Dossier knows not every scent is going to be for everyone. The way you smell is personal for you, right? So if you get a fragrance and you don't like the smell for whatever reason, all you have to do is send it back and you get a 100% money back guarantee. Click the link in the description, get a bottle sent right to your door. Also, Dossier has a new payment method that lets you earn store credit. Select catch at the last step of checkout and you'll earn a $10 sign-on bonus credit. Get rewarded with 10% store credit on every single order. And use my special code RIGGS10 to save 10% off your order. I want you smelling high-end and luxurious. Now let's get back into the video. And the gameplay you guys are watching on the screen is from 𝓂𝓃𝓎𝓃, who's currently ranked number 2 on the leaderboards in FPP. Let's start off with a brief intro. I asked him basically how he started playing PUBG Mobile, why he started playing. The most important question, and I want to make sure I didn't forget to ask it, which is what device do you use, and so on. Just go ahead and get into it. He says, I started playing Season 4 on a, I hope I pronounced this right, I probably didn't. He started playing on a 𝓂𝓂𝓃𝓎𝓃 P20. Jeez, was that a 2 GB phone, possibly? He says, and then I started playing to, then I stopped playing to study, started again in Season 12 on a Redmi Note 8 Pro, and in early 2020 switched to Redmi Note 11 Pro, which I'm currently playing on. Talk about a break, took a long break, and was able to come back and completely dominate the game, you guys. So it's starting off on what I believe is an extremely low-end device, and it's kind of worked his way up, but playing on a phone, not on a iPad, which is something rarely seen, especially when we're featuring, you know, a lot of the top players in the game. A lot of them play on iPads, so it's really nice to see somebody playing on a phone. Second question I asked him is, what is your favorite map to rank on and why? This is going to come as a shock, but I absolutely love it. Absolutely love this. He says Kerrigan. He says it's the best map to push KD on. It isn't really that good for points, a bit like Livik, but also Kerrigan teaches you how to rotate, and if you can rotate properly, you're basically going to be given kills based on the terrain. But overall, he says my favorite map to rank on would be Kerrigan. Boom, there you go. Something different. Usually we always hear the same thing, which is Erangel. It's nice to see a different map in the mix. Question number 3, I asked him, what is your favorite weapon loadout and why? This is kind of an interesting answer that we normally will get, I mean, as far as depth, because it's 100% based on not only what map he's playing, but also weather and things like that, which is very interesting. But as far as scopes, Kermit's favorite scope is a 3x. He says, as for guns and attachments, it depends on the scenario. He says in fog mode, he'll run something like a flash hider. If it's not fog mode, he's going to run for attachments. He's going to be running, or as far as muzzles, he'll be running a comp. If it's open field, open terrain, he'll be picking up a sniper. If it's urban, I'll run a shotgun or SMG. Urban, being in those close quarter combats. But his number one favorite loadout is going to be an AUG with an S12K or AUG M10. Of course, if he's playing on Livic. He says, if I don't find an AUG, I'll run an M4 or a SCAR. Question number 4. Why do you think, this is where we start to get a little deep, fam. I asked him, why do you think FPP died? What can PUBG Mobile do to revive the PUBG Mobile FPP player base? He says, I think FPP died because people don't really like to go out of their comfort zone. And as FPP is a more challenging mode, people tend to overlook it. I think ranking, this is where it's going to get interesting. He says, I think ranking should be FPP only. If they want to play TPP, they can play an unranked or arcade, only because FPP is skill-based and you can't third-party peek, as that system is basically like free X-ray. X-ray, talking about the cheats. I think there's a lot of, this could be a whole other, separate, video idea as far as why FPP died. What can the game devs do to kind of bring it back? But as right now, it is what it is. But yeah, interesting perspective coming from the number 2 ranked player on the leaderboards. Question number 5. What are 3 arguments you would tell someone to convince them to play FPP over TPP? He says TPP is more of a challenge to rank up, but for everyone else, it's easy. If more of the player base switched to FPP, you'd see the real good players come out, not just people who abuse third-party peak features. Also, it's a good indicator of people's true skills, as you can't use TPP like third-party peeking, things like that. FPP gives you more advantages for gun skill because you get better at pre-fire. You can get, and we'll get more into that when we get to the tip section. You can get more confident. Also, you can look at your Glacier M4 close up. Remember, these are arguments to tell a TPP person to play FPP. It's absolutely brilliant. You can see your guns, up close and personal. It also teaches you to rotate because you need to be proactive and not reactive. You need to stay ahead of the zone and other players, as rotating is more important in FPP than it is in TPP. Question 6. What's the average wait time trying to find a match this season since you are in top 100? How do you not go insane waiting for matches? That's the biggest gripe. More videos on that to come as well, as far as matchmaking and how awful it is right now. He says first 2 weeks matching is instant and then it dries up. And he says it's not just a problem for this season, but pretty much every single season. Since FPP basically. Because what happens is the first couple weeks, that's when everybody ranks up. Once everybody who's ranking hits Conquer, they basically will stop playing, and then they'll go play TP or something else. He says sometimes he'll go ahead and tiptoe on over to the EU server, or, as we're going to get into later, he'll just play TPP as he's ranking up with Rolex and other, people, within the clan and things like that. And the longest he'll wait is 5 minutes to get into a match. I said, what are the best tips for someone that you would give who is trying to rank? All right, here he says, pre-fire everything. He also says try to max out all the weapons and attachments in TDM in order to master all guns. That's something that's so important, is you're not always going to be able to find that M4. Or you're not always going to be able to find that SCAR L, and that, that Kar 98. Sometimes you're going to get loadouts that you're not comfortable with. So being able to use a wide variety of weapons will not only help you survive those hot drops, we have to just pick up wherever, or when it comes time where you can't pick up the gun you actually want. He says this is very important right here, probably the most important and the most underrated of anything. It says he says get a good squad. He says, try playing in live streams, Discord, Instagram, meeting people on Instagram, and team recruitment feature to get good players. This is how I met a lot of my friends, such as Rolex, and my good friend Ghazi. Believe it or not, the way he started playing, interesting story, the way he started playing with Rolex is team codes. Rolex had a day where he was doing team codes. Fake Kermit went ahead and just typed in the team code, was lucky enough to get into the lobby, played well. He went ahead and added him as a friend, and they've pretty much been playing ever since. So it can happen. It can happen that easy. So anyway, let's move on. Another tip, he says, try solo versus duo boot camp on Sonok to get better under pressure situations. And when you're good at that, go ahead and continue with solo squad matches. Another big one, and I'm shocked at how many people don't do this. It's incredible. Something as simple as use headphones. Use headphones and work on awareness, because if you can predict their next movement using sound, remember, many will say and argue that sound is more important than sight in PUBG Mobile. He says, then you're already ahead of them in terms of calling the moves. You can pre-fire or get a different angle, etc. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this feature. I really hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay that we have on the screen for you. Rank number 2 in FPP. That is insane. Couldn't be happier to have Fake Kermit for this feature. Let me know in the comment section who you guys want to see featured next in the Play Like a Pro series, whether it's a YouTube personality, whether it is a esports pro player, or whether it's somebody ranking the leaderboards. Definitely want to get back into it and start doing this. I don't want to do these once every 8 months, you know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you did by dropping a like. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But until the next one, this has been Riggs.